Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Jacksonville. At the warehouse of the Goodwill, the Land of Lincoln Goodwill Industries, this warehouse is about 100,000 square feet. It used to house the Capitol Records disc manufacturing plant. And as you can see, it's immense. And you see these huge cardboard boxes that are stacked up roughly. That half of the building is for product that's going to go out to the Goodwill retail stores, and this half of the building is for items that have to be recycled. Turns out that Goodwill of Land of Lincoln is one of the largest recyclers in the area. 8 million pounds a year of recycled materials go through this place, and that's above and beyond all the items that are sold at their retail stores. Sharon Durbin, there's a lot about Goodwill that we don't know.
Right.
You do, but we don't. And we're standing in front of the Jacksonville Goodwill store, and people recognize this because it's your logo, it's your sign, and they're familiar with the retail stores. And we're going to go in the retail store, but there's a lot to it that is beyond people's vision, isn't it?
Yes. Well, you know, the whole premise behind Goodwill started with a pastor in Boston that wanted to help people, but he didn't want to give a handout. He wanted to hand up. And so he's the real creator behind the whole business model that we work with on a daily basis by bringing in the donations and putting people to work so they can be self-sufficient and supply for their families. And so that's the whole premise that started this store and all of our stores and across the organization as a whole. So it's really exciting as people walk in, and you know, the Goodwill shopper that comes here every day looking for the treasure and the individuals that donate, and it all comes back down to giving people jobs.
During this program, we're going to go through the retail with you, but we're also going to go and see where the donations are brought in and how they're treated and how they're priced and how they're boxed and how they're separated and all that kind of thing. And in Jacksonville, here, you also have an immense warehouse that we're going to tour.
Right.
And you have a career center here as well, and we're going to learn about that. But for right now, let's go in and take a look at the retail center, and maybe you can show us around a little bit, okay?
Sure.
Wow, Sharon, it's big. What did this store used to be?
It used to be Walmart, and Walmart decided that this was too small, and so they moved to a larger
Walmart, but not too small for Goodwill.
Right.
This is probably one of your bigger centers, isn't it?
Yeah, this is one of we have 3 centers that's comparable to size, and this is one of them.
Your Land of Lincoln Goodwill Industries area covers almost all of central Illinois, part of southern Illinois, and over into Indiana,
Correct.
I assume, right? 37
counties in total.
37 counties. And so how many of these retail centers do you have?
Currently we have 14, and we're getting ready to open another one in Clinton, Illinois, which will mark our 15th retail location.
15th retail location. That won't be nearly this big.
No. It's going to be about 10,000 square foot total.
Yeah. Well, still, that's a
Yeah, that's still, you know, you're still talking 15 new jobs in that community. So
yeah, that's terrific. Let's walk this way a little bit if you don't mind. This is like, you have to have a head for retail, or somebody in your organization has to have a head for retail, because you can't just put out racks of stuff and expect people to enjoy their shopping experience.
That's correct.
So you got some pros working here as well, right?
Yes. We have quite a dedicated team of leadership that knows exactly what items needs to come out, what items doesn't. We make sure that they're items that are not on a recall list for safety reasons for children. We quit selling, you know, like children's car seats and you know, any kind of bassinets.
Liability issues.
Right, because those laws constantly change. So we always have to stay privy to that information to make sure that we're on top of it. And then the pricing, you know, what's the right price point for every item, and it's all based on quality. Some items that have name brands like, you know, Liz Claiborne and Calvin Klein and those type, they might have a higher price point than something that you would find, you know, like at a Walmart or a
We'll
Dollar
get
General.
a chance to talk to this person who makes those
Right.
kind of decisions,
Yeah.
right? Because she's been doing this for years and she's got all
Right.
that in her head. But this is, okay, 15 retails plus everything else that I mentioned. That is comes out to have an enormous budget. And in fact, your retail takes care of almost all of your budget, doesn't it?
Correct, yes. A little over 90% of our sales, of the revenue that comes from selling our items in our store and our salvage and our recycling, which you'll see later, all of that supports our expenses. And so we have a small window that we still get money from the state to supply to support some of our mission programs, but the bulk of the money that comes into these stores is what keeps our doors open and keeps our people employed and salaries.
Now, you mentioned to me earlier that you strive to hire as many full-time people as you can, and those full-time people get full benefits when they're full-time employees, and you have hundreds of employees, don't you?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we right now we're about 420 employees.
Wow.
Almost 300 of those individuals are full-time, and the rest are part-time. And then we also have about 72 individuals that's through our vocational rehab program. And those are individuals with various forms of disabilities that we actually give jobs to and help them to feel productive and give them that meaning for life. And they're our party people, we call them, because they're just happy people and they like to party.
And they're happier when they have a job,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
When they have a place they need to go that day and be of use, that's when they're happiest.
Right. I've said it many times, if every employee including myself, that would walk in that would have the same attitude as our participants, our clients does, it would be one happy place because they don't have bad days. And so you really enjoy being around them.
Yeah. You mentioned this outside, but I think it's worth repeating again. The whole mission of Goodwill, and not just yours, but the other area Goodwills as well, is to provide employment for people who don't have it.
Right.
Wouldn't otherwise have it, can't get it anywhere else. That still means your real function, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It means somebody that, is a veteran that's been down and out since they come home. It's an ex-offender. It's someone that graduated high school and doesn't know what to do with the next step of their life. It could be somebody that, has a disability. We have an individual that works in one of our stores in Springfield that, the only mode of transportation, he had a wheelchair. And he searched for 15 years before somebody would give him a job, and Goodwill was the first employer, and we love him. So, regardless of what your barrier is, we'll work with them because they become not only an employee, but as I tell every employee that walks through the door, now you've become a part of the Goodwill family. Because if you're hurting, you're having a hard time, we're hurting with you. And that's just the way of the culture that, we here. So we want people to feel embraced and a part of, and most of all, a team to support our mission.
Yeah, and in fact, you have 5 training centers in your area. And those training centers are not only to train people to work at Goodwill, they're to train people to work wherever they can be employed, gainfully employed.
Correct.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Debbie Tuttle, the process really starts here.
Yes, it
This
does.
is a retail location, and this is the donation area. This is where people drop off their goods, right?
Exactly.
Normally, there would be a pickup truck backed up there, and your folks would be bringing stuff in. Right now, there's nobody here.
Right.
But the first thing to do is to get this stuff, sorted, or to get it in some kind of an order so that you know how to deal with it.
Normally what happens here is there's gaylords set up, and you can see over in this area we have it's called raw donations. They separate them into categories, and once they're separated into categories, like you can see, we have raw textiles, which is clothing, shoes, purses, electronics, DVDs, we have books, those type of items. We have these categories. They're split up. Some of the stuff is brought and put into carts where they're automatically taken over to the sorting areas.
Okay.
At that point, the quality is selected and is either priced to be sold, stored, or salvaged.
Okay, let's walk through that process a little bit. Let's
Okay.
go over here. What's this man doing here? What's he?
This man is actually filling up a spring cart from a raw donation Gaylord. So what's happened is the donation came in, the material handler filled that up, it's been stored. More clothes, he's filling it up for them to
Okay.
actually sort through.
And then, is this the same process here? Only different kind. This is glass and housewares.
Exactly. She, this is all we call it wares, and she is separating these wares into the different categories. At this point, she's going to, again, it's either going to be, she's going to sell it to price, salvage it, you know, or it'll be stored. You know, like storing means like Christmas, the holidays is what we store.
Ah, okay. So it
when I'm
wouldn't go
saying
out, it
stored,
wouldn't go out
it
in
means
retail
storage.
right now. It would be held back for a special occasion. of some
Correct,
kind.
like
Okay.
Christmas,
seasonal stuff.
seasonal
Okay.
stuff.
All right.
Yes,
and that's what we
yes.
got here. This is seasonal, right?
Yes, we're getting ready for the holiday. It's
Okay.
St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Yes.
So this
So
this all stays together, and it'll be
Yes.
put. Actually, you can start putting it out now, can't you?
Exactly. This was in storage. So they've actually, we're starting to put that out.
Ah.
So they've brought that out and they're putting it in. That's what we do, like,
Oh.
you know, the other holidays.
Okay, so all of this back here, and you can see
Yeah.
this is an immense area back here.
Oh,
This
yes.
has all been sorted.
Right.
And it's all on racks the way you want it to go out into
Correct.
retail?
Correct.
So this is quite a process though, because a lot of this stuff is not retail worthy.
Correct.
What happens to that stuff? If
Correct.
it's got holes in it or it's not working right?
That's considered salvage. And salvage is something that is taken to our warehouse. At that point, we try to sell it by the pound and to the public. And then if that doesn't work, then we sell it to a secondary vendor.
Okay, and
which-
we're going to the warehouse. We're going to see that
Yes,
process
yes,
too. So now I
it's-
understand it's really interesting.
Exactly.
Okay, now how do you know how to price this stuff? I mean, that's an art, isn't it?
Yes, we have price points for each thing. So your kids are $1.99 and so on. They're putting price points. Anything that is extraordinary, that's worth more in value, we put a little bit more on it, and we call that boutique.
But you have to know that. I mean, you have to know these brands, because if there's an exclusive brand that somebody might be willing to pay more for, your people have to know what that is and how to price that.
Yes, we do. We have charts that we give them, and we provide training. So, you know, it's kind of like the thing. But, you know, things slip through, and that's what the, you know, the gold is. So that's what people like to come and find. But, you know, mostly, you know, we try to put a good value on. People can afford to shop and
And people know that this stuff has been carefully sorted through, so if there's something on the rack, they don't have to worry about it being defective in any way. That's already been taken care of.
Correct. I mean, there are, you know, it is done by humans, and there is some human error, but mostly it is of good quality. It's, you know, near to new, gently worn is what we try to go for.
And if it's not, like you said, if it's not worthy of being on the floor in the retail, then it's going to go to the warehouse, or it's going to be recycled, or it's going to be...
Correct. Like right over here, they're putting this into a salvage Gaylord.
The Gaylord is this box.
This
big
box right here. And these are the items that there's either something wrong with it, it's got a hole, it's faded, zippers broke, missing buttons, that kind of thing. You know, it may not be totally not usable, so then it goes to the warehouse, and then that's where they buy it by the pound. And maybe a seamstress is going to take it, they're going to use it for something different. But when it's getting sold at this level, people are wanting to buy it near to new. You know, I'm coming in, I'm buying my kids clothes for school, so I want them new.
Okay, now I want to turn around here and I want to look way at the back there, and all those Gaylord boxes there, they're stacked and stacked and stacked. Thousands of pounds of stuff. Where's that going?
That's really, right now those are being stored. They're either holiday, you know, it could be, I think those are Halloween, I'm not sure, I
Okay,
can't.
those aren't coming out though. They're going to come out at a particular time.
Correct.
And they're marked for that reason, huh?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. So, like I said, anything that's, like even down to our clothing, if our summer clothes right now, they're actually being stored for this coming season. So summer's stored and then winter's put out, and then winter's stored and summer's put out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Deb, it's quite a process.
It is. It you know, it really is. It's not like traditional retail, but You know, it's definitely a different shopping experience. People love it, and it's a real magic to
Well, you
it.
never know what you're going to find, do you?
Correct,
Yeah.
and that's on both ends.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's in both ways. But yeah, it's a great place. I've been here almost 15 years, and I've loved every day.
Well, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Laura Kuhl, in the Land of Lincoln Goodwill Industries area, there are 5 career centers like this one. This one's adjoining a retail center here in Jacksonville, and most of the other ones are too. And they look very similar to this, don't they?
Correct.
And you travel around training, doing classes for people who want to learn to upgrade some skills they might need in interviewing or getting out resumes or learning computer skills, some basic things that an employee might need before they could even apply for a job.
Absolutely. We really want to equip people with tools. You know, we just kind of view the career centers as a big toolbox, and we're handing out all the necessary tools for self-sufficiency through the power of work.
Some people may come in here and they may be very qualified people at doing one thing. A car mechanic who no longer can get a job repairing cars. A veteran who came back and doesn't have any skills. One thing they really need to learn to do is to use one of these laptops, isn't it? Because this is almost universally a tool they're going to need to use. And that's what you're kind of set up to do here, isn't it?
Absolutely. We currently have a very popular series. It's a 4-part class that teaches the basics of computers. We go through Microsoft and Google, and they actually do a lot of work on the computers themselves. So they are really getting that firsthand experience, a ton of interaction, and one-on-one help with a career coach in the classroom. So it's really benefited a lot of students, and we've had a lot of students graduate from the program over the time that it's been in
You know,
use.
you have a very interesting history for this very position because you found out about this position because you shop at Goodwill.
Oh, absolutely.
Your career had been interfered with by some health problems that you had. So you were really in a spot where you kind of needed Goodwill's help, didn't you?
Absolutely. I think as most employees here are, I am Goodwill. It absolutely is Goodwill. And I was very, very fortunate to find the position and find the family that I have in working with this organization. And now I get to meet people just like me that have faced a tragic barrier, and I can relate to them on a very personal level. And that I think is really meaningful to a lot of our clients, to know that this isn't someone giving them a bunch of instructions or lessons. This is somebody who's lived it, who's found these tools, used these tools, and made a difference.
Yeah. It's kind of bittersweet though, because you get these students in here and what you really want to do is lose them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I know. You know, I have a very hard time. I follow up with my clients when they are hired onto a job and they no longer need my services to ensure they've retained their positions. And I really look forward to finally getting to talk to them again and see how they're doing.
Well, thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Okay, we are back at this massive warehouse. This used to be the Capitol Records disc CD place.
Years ago.
TJ's 100,000 square feet, and it's bustling, and there's forklifts buzzing around and trucks going in and out. Is it this way every day?
Every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and the outlet store is open on Saturday.
And all of this is a result. There are these huge Gaylord boxes stacked almost to the ceiling, and recycling materials here. And all of this is as a result of the donations that people make at the stores.
Right. We want to make sure that nothing winds up in the landfill. So we try to sell it in the stores first to make sure we get as much back for our mission as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But then if it doesn't sell in the stores, then it comes back here for recycling.
Now this forklift that's just taken one out to that bay there, what's he doing?
We're transferring Price Christmas over to our Jacksonville because it's a more hospitable environment over there.
Oh, okay.
So that's the stuff that's already priced. We're getting ready to, hold on to it for next Christmas. So they're transferring it over to the next store.
So a larger part of what you do here is you supply the retail stores, you store it here and supply it to them when they need it.
We supply 13 stores and 2 substations.
I see, okay. And what you also end up with is a lot of things that aren't usable anymore.
Right.
The usable ones go out to the retail stores, but there's a lot of stuff that isn't usable, right? And we're going to see some of that now. This is just a lot of loose items here.
Most of this stuff is broken, so most recyclers and things like that don't want it.
Yeah.
Or it's in a category that we can't effectively recycle at this point in time.
Okay.
And then all the company's trash comes back here, so we make sure that no good donations are going into the trash by accident.
Okay, so these are odds and ends, but you're very organized over here, because here in these are sort of like, gosh, these are computers and all sorts of electronic equipment.
Well,
this looks like you've got a real source for an end place for this.
Yes, we partner with the Dell Reconnect program. It's through Dell Reconnect. We sorted it into certain categories according to what Dell wants. We stack these up 8 foot tall, shrink wrap them up. Things that aren't stackable we'll ship out in these Gaylords. We fill a 53-foot semi-trailer, and Dell takes and makes sure that it's recycled.
So Dell actually purchases these items?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a source of revenue.
Right.
Terrific, terrific. Okay, so that's your Dell, but then you've got to go around the corner here, because you got a lot of other stuff you wish you had a Dell for, but you don't.
Right.
You kind of have to search out where these things are going to end up. Here you got a bunch of monitors, a bunch of TV sets and monitors.
Monitors, Goodwill actually, televisions, CRT televisions, flat screen televisions, and big projection screen televisions. Goodwill actually doesn't take those as donations, because our guys and girls at the door don't have a safe way of handling them. But they do get dumped on us. So because we're Goodwill, we make sure that they don't wind up in the landfill.
That's a huge thing, isn't it? Because not only is Goodwill committed to providing jobs for people, they're also committed to cutting down on things going to the landfill.
Definitely. Goodwill is one of the original recyclers. Goodwill's been around since 1902. A lot of their efforts during wartime, things like that, was involved in recycling.
More to the recycling here. Is this all part of the Dell process?
That's all part of the Dell. Anything that's shrink wrapped up. This is actually what we call salvage metal. We make sure that microwaves don't go in the landfill also, so those will go to a local metal vendor.
And they purchase that?
They purchase that.
Okay, because that'll breed scrap, won't it?
Yep.
Now you'll have a series of these balers in here. In fact, have a number of them. This one is just for cardboard?
They're all three are interchangeable.
Oh, they can bale anything.
We do all kinds of different product with them. We're just working on cardboard right now. Everybody either donates in a bag or a box. That's a lot of boxes at the end of the year, so we want to make sure that they get baled into something like this.
Where do they end up?
They usually go to a fiber plant, depending on availability of what plant is open, when the load's built. Depends on what plant we take it to. A lot of this stuff is going to the Bloomington Normal area.
Okay. Let's go see what else we're baling here today. Textile.
So this is what we call salvage textile. It's been through our stores. Nobody wanted to buy it through our store. It's been through our outlet. Nobody wanted to buy it in the outlet. It's either might have missing buttons, or a small zipper might be broke, or something like that.
Okay, before you move on from that, tell me about the outlet. What's the outlet?
The outlet, everything that we pull from our stores that didn't sell in the stores, we give it one last chance in the Goodwill outlet to sell, and we sell it for 99 cents a pound.
Is that part of this operation out here?
Yes, it's just right
it
right
joins
next
this
door.
building.
Yep.
99 cents a pound.
99 cents a pound.
As much as you want. Just but some of it, even there, doesn't go. Right?
Yeah, some of it there doesn't go. There's some things like books that we do for $1 because books are so heavy. If we did 99 cents a pound, nobody'd buy the books.
Yeah, right. And the book, and of course, you've got a source for the books too, because that can be reused, can't it?
The books
all the paper can be
reused.
Okay, so this is what you call fiber, but this is clothes, just discarded clothes that hasn't been able to textiles, and that's what he's getting ready to bale it up right there, isn't it? And when he gets through, that'll be scrunched down and then tied up so it can be moved.
We average about 1,250 pound bales. We stick about 36 bales onto a trailer. It comes out
Yeah.
to be 42 to 43,000 pounds of trailer.
Yeah.
And that's how we sell it all year long.
Yeah. Okay, I think he's going to go ahead and bale up a batch for us here. And what this does is, like you say, these balers, they're interchangeable. You can bale anything with this, cardboard or anything.
Not anything, more of your denser things like metal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Take a more dense material. So we actually just throw that stuff into a scrap dumpster for right now.
Uh-huh.
And we sort out the precious metals like aluminum, copper, stainless steel, nickel, brass plate,
Yeah.
things like that.
TJ, you have done every one of these jobs in this warehouse.
Yes, I have.
And now you're the manager, right?
I'm the director.
You're the director. You have to find an end place for all this stuff to end up. You have to find the companies or the people that are going to take it off
Yep.
and hopefully pay you for it.
Yep.
How do you do that?
Well, at first it was a lot of cold calls, but then other Goodwills are really supportive of each other,
Yeah.
and they'll give you leads and contacts and things like that. Really, this is a commodity and gets traded like a commodity. So you watch the commodities market,
Yeah.
and that's where you find people that want to buy it.
Remarkable.
So-
I'm out of time. I want to thank you for taking me through here, even though we almost got hit a few times by those forklifts. But thank you, and
Not a
take care
problem.
of yourself, will you?
Right.
Because it looks like you're scraping you pretty close here. I don't know if this has been an eye-opener for you. It has been for me. I don't think you'll ever walk into a Goodwill retail store again thinking the same way. With another Illinois story in Jacksonville, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.